We're doing it. 1 item per rarity in Risk of Rain 2. If you're not familiar with how this works, I was doing a series on this over Risk of Rain Returns for a fairly long time. The idea is that we take 1 item per rarity and we focus around a singular build or singular character's interaction, and we just see how crazy one individual item can get. It really kind of goes to show you how powerful some items can really get, or how powerful certain characters can get with certain items, or alternatively shows you how terrible items that you thought were good are. It's a really fun way to play the game, because with the limited pool of items to choose from, you kind of really have to craft a build. I'm going to be going in with Mercenaries, my favorite character, with his default loadout for this first 1 item per rarity run, because I would like to see what happens if I have infinite focus crystals. Now, infinite focus crystals is not going to be the best scaling in the world. I'm going to have issues all over the place. We're not going to have good AoE. We're not going to have great honestly, we're not going to have that great of damage. But the thing is that they scale infinitely, and that means that no matter how many focus crystals I get, I will always get another 20% damage, and every single one of Mercenaries' moves should be within the range of focus crystal. Every once in a while you'll see a visceral hit outside of it, but other than that, it'll be pretty much almost always within the range. To help us with this, I'm going to be grabbing a very reliable healing item of Leeching Seed, because, well, we're going to be hitting a lot. And then our red item is going to be, I've forgotten the name of it, but it's the red item that reduces all your cooldowns by 25%. We're going to be grabbing that as our red item. Now, I grabbed the Crit Lens use item here because, well, in my testing, it seems like we kind of need the boost of damage every once in a while, and it's sort of a temporary holdover for potentially better items later. Depending on how the run is folding out and what seems to be good, my use item is kind of like a flex slot to cover whatever I need at the time. So you will see that there's a little pink radius, which is very hard to see in the snow. Very, very hard to see in the snow, but there's a pink radius around us that indicates the range of the focus crystal. And anytime you see a pink number, that means that the focus crystal has in fact buffed that number. So we're already getting the 20%. And that is faster scaling and longer scaling than crit, although I will argue that crit technically has more usability. But doing a pure crit run, just like, that's not, in my opinion, not super interesting. Now, that's this run. I immediately have a request from you guys, my community. Everyone watching this video. The whole reason that in Risk of Rain Returns, the 1 item per rarity runs were even interesting is because of you guys. So you guys need to get in the comments and start giving me suggestions. If you want to see more of these, you know, like, subscribe, but specifically comment and let me know, hey, here's a really cool character or a really cool build that you can do with 1 item per rarity. So that is 1 item per white, 1 item per green, 1 item per red. And if you want to, you can include a lunar in there, but ideally, if we're going to go lunars, we'd like to replace another rarity, like maybe don't take reds and take lunars instead, because realistically speaking, lunars are so strong that they're gonna dominate entirely on their own. I would like to find a green before the teleporter, before I go. But, I'm not going to say that this is 100% dependent on you guys, but like the more suggestions I get, the more of these I'm going to be able to do, because I am only one person, and, well, there were so many suggestions whenever we played Risk of Rain Returns that were just so much better than anything I had ever thought of. And those runs literally lived and died by people's suggestions. They were some of the best parts of that thing. So I'd like to keep that going. One of the things that I'm excited about with Risk of Rain Return, or Risk of Rain 2, though, is that the items interact with each other this time, which means that we have a much larger possible pool of interactions than we did in Returns. Well, I appreciate the focus crystals game, but I'd actually really like a green now so that I can heal, or else I'm going to feel very silly for taking this crit lens over a healing item. Realistically speaking, we don't need healing. We could just get to good. Oh, thank goodness. I don't have to get good. You heard it here, guys. The game's just like, nah, you don't have to get good. It's okay. It's okay. We got you, bro. We got you, bro. Some of the ideas I have outside of this obvious mercenary run is I want to see what infinite barbed wire on Rex does, because, well, Rex can activate the barbed wire himself, so you could potentially do literally like a pacifist barbed wire Rex build where you don't really ever plan on hitting enemies, you just plan on hurting yourself, and everything around you dies. We're going to go ahead and activate our crit lens here. Try and get these bosses down as fast as possible, and my whole game just lied like crazy there. Jeez, See, that's what I was talking about. Most of those enemies were, in fact, outside of the range of our focus crystal. Oh man, don't die. That would be embarrassing if you die right now. Something that I've seen other people do with challenge runs is to include a goat hoof in every single challenge run. I'm curious if you guys think that I should do that as well, because, well, without goat hooves, this shit happens. And it becomes very hard all of a sudden to dodge basic attacks. We're going to start off with a wood sprite this time as our use item, and we will transition into using the crit lens once we actually have enough healing from Leeching Seed where we don't just get murdered by basic enemies. There we go. Immediately got a Leeching Seed. Make sure we click on the right item. You guys will never see it, but I have one ditched run where I accidentally picked up an ATG instead of a Leeching Seed. I will say that there is a Void Cradle over there. And although it is within the spirit of one item per rarity, I think I might actually avoid doing Void Cradles, at least for this first run. But if you guys want to suggest builds that involve a Void item, feel free. I don't even feel like necessarily you have to replace an item. Or maybe we go with, now hear me out on this one, maybe we go with whatever item the Void Cradle would normally replace, it counts as that tier. That's actually maybe a very good way of doing it. You know, again, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, but like if you have a green item that's being replaced by a void item, then, well, that void item counts as the green item. So like, Lost Seer's lenses would be your white item because it replaces your crit classes. I think that's a pretty fair way to do it, because realistically, we want these builds to be, well, kind of a little bit of a challenge build. And if they're just, OP because of the amount of items we have, suddenly it just becomes a command run. And it loses a lot of its interest, at least to me. That's a use item. That's not useful to me. I am sorely sad at how few items we got. Oh, there's 2 here. Okay, that's actually perfect. We'll activate the teleporter and we'll grab them as the teleporter goes. A little bit more Leeching Seed makes me a little bit more confident. I'll stand below this man to avoid his laser beams. You stand under his feet and be brave. You basically never have to worry about him laser beaming you. He won't even activate the move. You step even a little bit away from him, though, there's a chance that he will, and then you'll be very close to him. So make sure you have enough damage before you do this. Got another Leeching Seed from the teleporter, and thank goodness this is a white. We're gonna want way more whites than greens in this run. Although once I have 6 or 7 Leeching Seeds, I will probably replace my use item with a damaging use item. to help with some of the crowd clear. I'd like to do like the disposable missile launcher as a use item, but I feel like it doesn't really fit the build of bead mercenary to have a disposable launcher. It doesn't really like doesn't fit his aesthetic, right? The man with all melee attacks. Although it does make him feel very armored core to have like a whole bunch of melee attacks and then a launcher on his backpack. So we got 180 worth of items here. Let's see if we can get that money. Hard failure, man. Oh my gosh. That was 48 per hit. We're already doing quite a lot of damage. Keep in mind we're like 7 minutes in, right? That's pretty good. Now we're not clearing entire hordes, and we don't have any AoE other than this line attack here. So this might still be a struggle, but the damage is actually kind of getting up there. I'd like that big chest up there because if I can get a red, having shorter cooldowns is going to be a pretty big boon. Are there any shrines, maybe? There's an elite. There we go, there we go. That should enable us to get the rest of the items on the stage pretty quickly. Possibly we just hit the teleporter, to be honest, and then pick everything up afterwards. Another 20% damage. Oh man, there's a ton of items over here by the teleporter. We are 100% just going to grab 2 of these super quick and then activate. You know, I love the DLC for this game, but I don't love that they added that enemy. The little smiling assholes. I have a least favorite enemy in each of these games, and it is definitely that guy in this game. immediately just break the link. You don't know. You can actually, if you get far enough away from this guy, you can just come right back because his little link only attaches to each person once. So that means that you can get really, really far away from him and then just come right back and fight him while he is sitting there killing everything. Now, if anyone knows anything about modding, one thing that I was wanting really hard in Risk of Rain Returns, but fortunately there's no modding API for that game yet, so mods are just kind of like not a thing, if someone is capable of modding, I'd love a thing that just creates a whitelist, or if someone already knows about an item whitelist, so I don't have to use command, item white or blacklist, whichever one, doesn't really matter. That would be honestly fantastic for doing these runs, because, well, while talking and rushing around, I have clicked on the wrong item before. Probably in about a third of all of my one item per rarity runs. So that'd be a really nice boon to have the ability to, you know, not have to worry about clicking on the wrong item. I'm sure something like that exists because I've seen other YouTubers who do Risk of Rain content do some pretty crazy things with their mods. I just recently saw a video with Raydans where basically all of his items were multiplying exponentially, like some pretty crazy insanity. So asking for something as simple as a whitelist seems pretty easy to me in comparison. And it might already exist, to be honest. It's actually not bad damage. It's almost like my base damage is just scaling with the game. I got hit with collapse there, but actually managed to dodge it by going iframes. That was, I'm gonna go with mad skill, not luck. No one would ever say luck. It was mad skill. I'm just that good at video games, okay? You don't even know. You don't even know the half of it. $245. Very nice. Starting to get there. Literally just leeching seeds. And, focus crystals, obviously. Yeah, we can take 50% of our HP damage. I'm fine with that. It really just kind of is like our damage is scaling with the scaling of the game. It's kind of interesting to think about it that way. Because normally the game outscales you, unless you keep up with it in items. And your base damage becomes less and less important over time, in a way. I missed the collapse. Okay, we're fine. I don't know the timing of that anymore. The one-shot protection can protect you, but the problem is that it's not going to protect you from collapse, because in order to have collapse on you, you would have been hit by something else previously. Yeah. It's a pretty common source of murder in Risk of Rain 2. Excuse me, sorry. I just saw that guy take falling damage. I didn't know that the enemies could take falling damage. Learn something new every day. Teleporter's off to the right. We can hear it right now. We're honestly just going to leave that void bubble there, because it doesn't really bother me. They have so little HP compared to my damage that it's literally like I'm on stage 1 still. I do just need to keep getting items though, or else we will just fall behind still. And I think we're just going to go ahead and leave. With 12 leeching seeds. With 12 leeching seeds, we might be able to switch off of our healing item now and grab something a little bit more offensive. I think the imp went over and fought the Void Cradle and just got murdered. Yeah, I think he did. One of the things I would like to also point out is that there are mods for this game, which means that I did do modded 1 item per rarity runs too. I probably won't be doing any of those right at the beginning here, but it is definitely something that I'm open to. God, I barely need the use item. Even a damaging use item would not be that big of an improvement right now. I mean, sure, it'd be double damage, right? But it would only be double damage for a few moments. Although I did just realize that it might be a good thing to bring to Mechrex. That man has a lot of HP. We're going to check to see if we can find the legendary chest. I think it's there. Yeah, because it's always where the mushrooms are. 3,373. Oh, my cry on that guy's ass and sit in the air with him. On top of taking suggestions for... Ooh, these guys can be scary. On top of taking suggestions for the actual runs themselves, I would also be taking suggestions for mods. So keep an open mind on what you think could make, basically what you think might be interesting. If it's something that you think you want to watch and you haven't seen before, then it's a good thing to suggest to me. I love challenge runs and I love weird runs, and one of the things that I've been really loving lately is the limited builds in these games. Because a lot of times, if you just have access to every single item, it starts to become easy. I will say that I'm not amazing at Visceral Raid 2, not as good as I am at Returns, so I'm not, like, obliterating the game by any means. But as soon as I started playing this game normally, I missed it. I missed the limited items. The game is giving me too many greens. I have more uncommons than commons. Please, game. I actually need the whites this time. There's my teleporter. Probably go ahead and grab a different use item now. There's the quick lens. That'll give us a bunch of extra damage whenever we actually need it. For bosses and for, you know, Mithrits and stuff like that. Come on. Is there nothing else in the stage? Holy crap. Guess we just grab the red and leave? We kind of need that red, though. Okay, yeah, the double damage is actually very nice. Okay, that should be enough money. I don't remember. I remember it was 3,000 something. But I don't remember the exact number on it. There we go. And we grab our alien head. Let's get out of here. Between that and our natural ability to reduce our... Ooh, another item. Between that and our natural ability to reduce cooldowns a little bit, that should be a significant boon to our abilities. Those guys are scary. Giant unavoidable collapse bubbles. Jesus Christ. They are murdering everything for me, though. So there is that. Wow, they are literally murdering absolutely everything. I don't even want to fight them, though. And of course, they're standing on the teleporter and on my last item. Whew. That was dangerous. Those guys would have hit me for so much damage. Thank you, game. There was, Void Destroyer particles on top of me whenever I first popped in. That was scary. Hey. I feel unwelcome here, and I feel like I should be leaving. Well, there's the teleporter. Can we see about maybe getting one item? There's at least a white item in there. 370, okay. There he is. I'm dead. Void collapse, man. Void collapse. Well, I got pretty far with that, though. And I think that, Fortress Crystal is probably not the best item for Mercenary, but it is a pretty damn good one, and I actually kept up with the damage far longer than I thought I was going to. But this has been Mission Rain 2, one item per Rarity run. If you guys are interested in seeing more, again, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe, specifically on the comment side, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.